Morning. Caribbean parents have a special knack for disciplining their children. The items of choice would be the belt, shoes, bath pan, kneading or forwards with their fists, or anything closest that could sail across a room or open space that brought a great satisfaction to them. To us, their harsh discipline did not always match our so called mischief or bad behavior. We were children from walking about all day, that's me, and galvanating with friends, that's me, chucking off in a river, amid that, getting into fights or playing ring games, the punishment never prevented us from building solid relationships and becoming decent people. Today, we are appalled at the level of indiscipline. Parents are no longer instilling boundaries in their children, which has caused a breakdown in the family and society and so much more. So, what do you think about discipline then versus now? A Saturday morning runnings. Come, make we talk. The crew on board, as always, are Maxie, Max Spoiled Lions, Jackie Brainbox Tyson, Sharnette, Sharns McNutt Brown, and Jen will be joining us in the queue. It promises to be a great segment, or rather, another great segment. Ladies, want go on, how to do, how to do.
The part of me can't get over is the lady D chucking off in a river, lady D. Oh no.
Max and Max and I were talking this week, and Max kept saying, "Jackie can't believe, you know." But yes, I was very adventurous. I did the headers, I did everything. Ride a
And she looks
bicycle
so
without
quiet.
break.
What?
And she look like she can't
Me
match that.
think say lady a quiet, wholesome young lady. When they have to come in the house, come call for come out the door. This lady walked till night. Then I must tell her to dark herself home.
Go on up. Go on up.
Come go up.
Go, go. I tell you.
Oh
So how
my
you all doing
God.
this morning? It's good to see you guys as usual. You know, I'm
Oh
still
my
on the
God.
vacay.
Nice,
Vacay,
nice.
having my, restful time and so on. So, I've been saying that I packed to come. Then when me come now, me have to pack to leave, go somewhere else. So I'm just in and
Yeah.
out of the
Oh,
poor
yes.
suitcase and bag.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's the thing. Because you know,
But
you,
it's good.
you're going
Um,
all over.
yeah, man. Kuya, guess what? Our
What?
guy Ricky just sent me a text. His wife got sworn in. No, his sister, Ricky K, his sister, got sworn in as a JP yesterday. Okay.
Nice.
Oh,
Congrats.
nice,
Very good.
Yes.
Ricky.
Congratulations, Ricky.
Yes, brother. So
Transrevelations.
I tell you. So it's good to see you. I know some of us, our mother maybe just lay waiter because she go out late, go out, come back in late. So that them a lay wait. You know the lay wait beating.
Yeah, they leave back at the door with it.
Spanish
The
Town.
broomstick.
Spanish Town now.
Right.
Oh
Ooh,
Lord.
yes. So
Oh
discipline
my
then
goodness.
versus now, that's what we're talking about. Of course, we've had other segments that we have, you know, cited some areas of discipline that parents used to kind of whip out, but we never actually had a show
Yes.
about that.
Mhm.
Last week we
Right.
had a good run,
Yes.
and I enjoyed last week. It was something.
It was
It was
very
good.
detailed. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as always, we'd like to acknowledge our early birds. Wait, guess who come on early? You remember a guest who had appeared, Ian, my
Our
friend Ian.
guest.
Yes. It, you know.
Hi, Ian. Good morning.
All right. It's funny. Some of them I can't see. Like you mentioned Ian. I can't see Ian. I never can see Ricky, but I
Oh
see
yeah.
Ryan and yeah.
I can't
Oh,
see
okay.
anything. I can't see the chat because I have my screen open up full.
Yeah,
Oh.
just oh.
When I have it open full, I don't see who's on
Oh,
unless
you
you put
you
it
want to
across.
see yourself nice, so, and
Yes,
us.
I want everybody is bright and pretty.
I'm sure. I'm thinking that's what that is. So morning, Ian. Say, what am I saying now? Lady D, what?
Go on
Go
up
on
ahead.
up a yard.
Go on up ahead.
Oh, no.
Everybody know her.
And of course, King is here. So how
So,
all
yeah,
of
you
you
look
look
hot, sir.
hot? Well, we're on TV.
They will not be
Morning,
happy
King.
that.
So I'm say big up all him queen them and thing.
Morning, Ryan.
Morning, Ricky's here, of course. I'm in Oh, Ricky, they're
Penance.
Yes,
Hi,
Rick.
Ricky.
In my hometown.
Nice.
Yes. Okay. So Ian says big up to all. So and you all look hot.
Hi, Ian.
Ryan.
Tongues.
Yeah.
We have because of winter.
Right. And it's not really hit yet, you know.
Yeah, no.
Wait, maybe by Thanksgiving we should be feeling real cool breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody good this morning?
Yeah.
We're all right. Yes. We get up and we're ready to go. So we're talking about discipline then versus now. Of course, in my script, I couldn't cite all the nows. So that's the focus of our discussion, of course. We'll just share about what we used to do and, the sail across the room.
Could even be a cutlass or a fire stick.
Right. Jackie mother had mentioned that she had sealed. Is what again, Jackie? And
a
it hit.
piece of fire stick.
Yeah. So
I remember that. The corner. The fire stick bend the corner with me.
Oh Lord. So Ricky, kick it off. Ricky says, well, there is a saying that my grandfather rode a camel. My father drove a Ford. I drive a Mercedes. My children drive a Range Rover. Their children will drive a Bugatti, but their children will probably walk. Discipline. Yes.
Right.
A true thing, that Rick. So it's a good day. We're good. So, we like to go around the table and so everybody know my discipline already. Then send me for go. Me ride bicycle, me get myself in issues and all that. But, here I am today. I have matured. Me still mischievous, Me still mischievous.
No,
and comical, but, those were the days.
Yeah.
But looking back, sure, I wouldn't change a thing.
No, sir.
Right?
I wouldn't
change a thing.
I wouldn't change
The
anything.
issue that we created is just
I'm telling you.
and it's individualized.
Yes, man.
So
Sharon, share a snippet of your time.
Well, let me see now. My grandmother, before every beating, she was so happy quote a half of him. So she happy hold up this strap in the air and say, Lord, I lift my hands to thee. No other help I know. And by the time when she finished, do all of that, she just cut me too and send me flying, And it's usually because she always say, hard ears pitney dead as sonnet. Because usually
hard ears pitney name rock stone.
What's that, Jack?
Hard ears pitney name rock stone. So we know through it.
She say hard ears pitney dead as sonnet. Because usually, they want you come in for your nap time. Maybe at the height of the day, maybe 1 o'clock when sun high in the sky and so, and then call you and you dip off. Maybe it's food season, and usually me in a tree somewhere. I try. That's what I did fall down out of the Neesberry tree because I try shake it silently so them not hear it. So it was not too far from the house.
Right.
I tell you, where did fall to so it is a slippery. But it's usually for not listening. No go over, no go down there, go be listen, no go and you come back and or somebody say, oh, me see me pass her down on the track there, she come from down a Kojo. River, the name Kojo River.
Oh,
Down
okay,
at
yeah.
Quadra, and when we send you down there, and you pick up couple flying lick.
Mm-hmm.
Me never get too much butter bruising, but pick up couple
Yeah.
flying lick when me not listen. And you
Mm-hmm.
come back from river and you're white and ashy. And you tell them, me never have beard, me never go in I water, I'm not
Hey,
ashy.
please.
And you two eye there red like blood, cause you da chuck off and take headers.
I'll be that. And then
No, sir.
I was
Which
asthmatic.
river that?
Rio,
Lady D?
Rio Mino, or they call it
Oh,
minor river.
yeah.
Ricky. Me no know. Ricky, you go a river. Me no remember seeing Ricky down the river. But anyway.
No, sir.
No, I would go, all when me couldn't swim yet. And me in that
Not
water
me.
and soak all day. Me have asked no? And
Oh,
yeah. So I soak all day.
I
And
talk all night.
then when you see my eye, them, red, me white like salt.
mm-hmm. You
And
can't
by
write your name. You can't write your name with a fingernail on your
listen,
foot
no
them.
man.
Where you
And
from?
by the time we go up now, because we used to take the track right through the coffee walk there, so and
Coffee
go up
walk.
through Marlin backyard. Or there was a path that they had created. Because I'm telling you, I was saying to Max that if it were now, maybe they really wouldn't be sending us alone down to the
No.
river and stuff,
No.
because it was a really desolate track
Yeah.
to walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even so, you would be passing men, young boys
Yes.
and
Coming
other
from
children.
coming
But
from field,
there
yeah.
were
But nobody
times
not
when,
trouble you.
but there were
No.
times there was
No.
just nobody except you
No.
and the bush
Yes.
And they bird them.
and
So
the
some
bird
bird
them.
you see there are cool and make all kind of noise in a bush there.
Uh-huh.
Some of them are look scary there too,
Yes. And
Right.
it's funny because
Mhm.
back then we never feel afraid, you never feel like timid or anything. You just
Mm.
enjoy the nature.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
And we're gone off. And then by the time I reach up now, um,
I
Oh.
know. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Wheezing.
me a wheeze. And
Mm-mm.
me used to
Wheezing.
silently sometimes sneak off and go rub up my chest. Because by then you kind of start learn how to manage yourself.
Yes.
Mhm.
So me we rub up with some Vicks and smell up some beer rum and put on my flannel. the same
No, sir.
flannel that when I had to wear it, especially when I go to high school, they had made the flannel a little high. So you
Mm,
could put a peak out
yes.
at the top of your blouse.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm.
remember one day one of my friends said, Gummy, because they call me Gummy. Gummy said, what that under your clothes? That time they may not want nobody know say me wear flannel. Me gone in the bathroom, the girls' restroom, but take off flannel, put she in my bag.
No.
You say me reach home. Come me poor little chest get shock. You
Yes.
Yes.
not wearing no flannel.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So when I wear it go home. So, by evening fall. So when I got home now, me did so mama, my grandmother asked. She said, Dennis, what happened to you? 'Cause my grandmother was very not buttery, she very prim and nice. Love you in a second, but we fix you in the next. And so she asked, me what happened to me. And me I try cook up story, but my
Mm.
story, me so nervous the fact that she actually asked because she heard me there kind of can't talk because
Mm.
my breathing is labored.
But she asking you, but she know already,
I think she figured
Of
it
Stay
out.
course
there.
you
She know
figure it out.
already.
She
Yeah.
figured it out. So
Mm-hmm.
me tell her me never have no flannel. Say what she used to do, my grandmother never beat. She left that to my aunties, but she just pull me here. Give me one yank.
Mm.
I mean, pull, So it better she beat you, because when she pull mama hold you here now, she take her fist and she need you and need
Yes.
you and need
Lord
you.
God.
And me stand up there now, defiant, now cry. And at that time, mama need me for it.
Yes,
So
then he's
that
running
she
a
can at
cry.
least
Yes.
see little tears that come down. I mean, no one cry. But afterwards, by the time she done with me and me walk with me bust out a bawling, because everything build up in you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you beg, so you know.
Okay, so you mean,
Two things are one,
Me
You
telling you.
cheer my vex.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, man,
But
you beg.
after that, I wore the flannel. And the last attack I had, I was 17. No, they never had to carry me go no hospital, go nebulize and all them stuff. But I would really wheeze a lot, mostly. And
Mm-hmm.
my church did pray for me, and to this minute, I was 17.
See, that's all.
A town, All Hope Road, Church of God of
Mm.
Prophecy. Pray
The
for me.
Lord
And,
be praised.
yeah.
Nice.
Amen.
Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
Jax, your time now.
Amen.
Yep. Amen.
Well, don't say me grew up with granny, so me always had a granny fractal.
Mhm.
So, but it's funny. This morning my mother and I were talking, and my sister, and she said that these children nowadays, she said, America pick me, they don't learn to do nothing. They can't do nothing.
Mm.
And she said, when I grow up, when I couldn't go outside, when I go sweep up the yard, when I go, Mr. Man, we go move goat too. Mr. Look
Mhm.
around here, so you see any goat place there, so we move goat carry go? Me
Right.
say, look outside. Me say the people then can't go outside, go sweep up no yard. Because
Mm-mm.
the complex have them own people to come in to sweep up the place. Them can't sweep up no yard. Them can't go up on the window, go clean no window. Me
Mhm.
Please, and
say,
please
and this,
don't climb one of them ornamental trees where them have there.
Yeah.
Like them
thank
tree they
you.
set. Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That's why they come in and kill the iguana them. They make the people and come in and kill the iguana them because we paid a lot of money for the plants.
Yeah.
That's what
Wow.
they said. So they
Mhm.
make the people and come in come kill the iguanas because the iguanas were eating up the plants.
Mhm.
So, but
Mhm.
the thing is, we got into. I said it's so funny. That's what we're going to talk about this morning. The difference between the children now and then.
Mhm.
The children, they have dishwasher, but yet if you have only one dish, then just wash it with your hand. They have a tendency to put it in the dishwasher,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the difference is we don't have to catch water in a pan and go wash the plate.
Mhm.
Wash the one plate and keep the water for the next time you
Yeah.
eat something. You
Right.
wash
Yeah.
the plate in there and rinse in water in the
Remember
next
what
pan
one wash and one
Yeah.
Mhm.
do.
turn it
Mhm.
down. So, we've
Oh,
come.
okay. Yes, Rick. Oh, Rick is, I didn't even see. That's why I apologize, Jack. That's why I like to look at
That's
the
all right.
phone. Because he says if I have space, he'd like to join.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
we have more than space.
Absolutely.
I could take 6 more people because the platform
Abs-
accommodates 10.
oh, okay.
Okay, Ricky, I'm sending it
Absolutely.
to you.
Put him in Amiga.
Yes. Yeah, so the difference is I even reminded my mother. I said, remember when we lived on the Grand Concourse? We said, which part there? So we live in our building high, so we can't send the pit. I couldn't send Christoph outside to go sweep up yard.
Mm-hmm.
We left alone when snow start to fall and get cold. You're stuck in the house. Them go school, come right back, stuck in the house. Can't do nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And because of space, can't make this little young boy try to clean the house when he can't clean because we have it's tight. The space is
Mm-hmm.
tight, so you just have a
Mm-hmm.
tendency to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So absolutely, they're raised differently from
That is,
us,
that is
and
true.
Mm-hmm.
the things that we used to do, they're not able to do it the same way. So it
Mm-hmm.
takes a different type of raising the children here
Mm-hmm.
than back home.
Yes, I agree with you. And which is why I think we get so frustrated because our parents disciplined us in a way that parents today really don't, at least some. There are
Yeah.
some parents who will tell you, school can come call me because I not going to have no unruly picnic in my house who is going to stare me in
Yes.
the face and tell me, oh, I'll call the cops.
Ah,
Man,
Right? So there are
oh
parents
God.
whose children know that they can't try, while other children are saying stuff, and being brash and thing. Other parents will not have it. because they know that in the long run. I heard a woman in a supermarket on Boston Road saying, if you think me come a foreign, work so hard, I put you through school, and then you a come tell me that you not doing this and your friend don't do that, well, may we
Never
just
tell
send
me
you go
so.
them yard,
Same so.
because as
Yes.
long as you're under my roof and
Yeah.
you think
Exactly.
your way, you're going
Mhm.
to have to abide
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 by
by
the
the house
rules.
by
rules.
Yes.
my rules. And she
Yes.
stand up there.
Exactly.
It's a girl, and she stand up there, and she pout and she pout. And she said, take it something them out of her trolley. And she pout and she fling them down. And she said, if you dash one more, you not get nothing to eat tonight. So they put the poor woman waiting at the attendant at the cash register, sit down there, wait for this whole thing unfold.
Saga end.
Unfold.
Yeah,
For the end of the saga. Oh my
I'm
God.
telling you. So, there are parents who believe that a child should listen until you go through my door. You're not getting
Yeah.
nothing in here. You
Yes.
need to listen. I'll allow you to be a child and grow up. But the moment you start want to have face off with me, some parents stop
Yeah,
doing that.
manage it myself.
So we would like to welcome our gentleman in blue.
Hi, Ricky.
Hey
All
Ray.
right. Hey,
It's
Morning,
blue or
ladies.
gray?
Greetings.
morning.
Morning.
Hi, Ricky. Good to see you.
Thank you. The
Mm-hmm.
pants is grey. I don't know that you can see it, but
No, we're
We're
not
the
not
seeing
seeing
shirt is
photos of
blue.
course, but top
The
we are
shirt
seeing.
is blue.
it.
Lady D, I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
down by the center watching some youngsters training football. Very
Oh,
pleased to see it. There
oh
probably
my God.
about
So,
two and a half
yeah,
dozen of them. Yeah, very
nice.
pleased to
Oh
see
my
that. Yeah.
goodness. The very same center where we used to run. Mm-hmm.
And the very same center we used to frequent as well. Yeah.
Right.
I
Nice,
think I
nice.
think I think not all of the experiences down at center can be repeated on here.
It was in public.
Into private.
It was public.
Into private. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Wait, Ricky, what's his
Yes.
name? What's his name again? Tarniki. Tarniki used to live right over the
Yeah,
corner
yeah,
there.
man.
So,
Taniki. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no, it's not
Nikki.
Taniki. It's Tanti.
Tanti, right. Sorry, guys. Mm-hmm. Tanti.
Anyway, go.
Okay. Yes, yes, Tanti.
But Jesus, Elder Ferguson say him not have on no pants. I just jacket. I just blue jacket. Oh,
Um, was that a
Yeah,
time some
Tanti.
time back?
I think he's in.
Oh Lord, the Wi-Fi. No, we need to put Elder Ferguson's comment in perspective. So let me go down. Coming up. We're not too sure what that means. Lord have mercy. All right. All right, so let me do what Ricky said right here. So, because he froze. I think that as adults, we recognize that even if our parents were strict with us, they had the very best of intentions. We think that they were too strict and are more lax with our children, only to realize that children need to be disciplined from early and recognize consequences.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. I agree because I recognized that from early with my son. The moment he turned toddler and he started to move around, I was worried, whether I would be as good a parent as my mother to raise 7 boys. She raised 7 boys. And now I have a boy child, and I was really worried. I wonder if I could do the same job like she did. And when he got to 2, then them start to call it the terrible twos. I said, no, sir, it look like a year, so we're going to have to start. And I really started to lay down the discipline from that age.
Yeah.
And he grew up to be a good kid.
Yeah.
And I felt like if I didn't do that, if I didn't get stern and strict from an early age, he would have had his own way and want to do what he wants to do by himself. But I had to be strict. Even Sunday, his godmother was reminding me of that.
So, Ricky, when I I was teasing him if he used to go down to the river, but he remind me that there was a track in front of the yard, which is right by Marlin Gate.
Sister Ruby.
Okay, so Charles, he says good morning. Okay,
Good
I just going
morning.
through. Of course, on the minibus, on the minor side, we lost people we knew in the river by drowning. Oh yes, several of them. So Neville said, "Good morning, Lady D, and the rest of the panel."
Good morning,
So,
Mr. Neville.
Good morning. Good morning.
and he says, "You hear the one, Maxine? She not even tell me happy 65th
Oh, I did on your page. I
on
did.
Thursday. Her luck.
I did on your Facebook page, Neville. Anyway, happy 65th.
Yes. So, Maureen
You're very young.
McFarlane. Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, ladies. Good conversations. Greetings from Philadelphia.
Greetings.
Good morning.
Okay. All right. So thanks, Neville. So what Neville's had said here, so now him not have on no pants or Ricky my talk. Just the blue jacket. Okay. So Ricky, you're hearing us? Because he chips in and out a bit. Yes,
Yeah.
Max. So you share your little tidbits now so we can.
Locks, my story didn't know if I'm bunch up. Anyway, I just want to say that my grandmother, she was a CEO for discipline. She was the chief executive officer for discipline. She beat you for everything. You got beaten for stay along a shop. You get beaten for stay along a spring when you go for water. You get beaten for wet the bed. You get beaten for taking medicine. And it's no joke, I'm serious. Yes, because you know when you say your shop is stay long, you buy a saltfish, you pick the saltfish. So you get beaten in that one. You get beaten for stay long, I get beaten for pick the saltfish. Right? When you go a spring for water, you can't climb one guava tree and lick off 2 mango. You have to get involved in the fruits or whatever. Because there was always those fruit trees around. So you get beaten for going to people place, go pick then guava or pick whatever. And you get beaten for stay long a spring. Yes. I got beaten for wetting bed all the time because I was always afraid. When you wake up in the night and you look and something hang up on the wall, a clothes, you know. But you know, remember to close the end before you go to bed. So when you wake up, as far as you are concerned, somebody will be out. So you now get up and use the chimney. So you lie down there and you wet the bed and everything when you wake up. My grandmother used to go in and wake up. When she wake up in the morning, she use her hand and dig up the bed to see if it's wet. I want you to feel any form of wetness. It's a beat.
Yeah.
I have problems swallowing tablets. I couldn't swallow pills. I don't know why. And even today, I can't swallow a pill. I have to suck it or chew it. And she used to beat me because she used to buy these pills that were like vitamins. And she would say, take this. And I would add it underneath my tongue. And she said, open your mouth. And I stick up my tongue and add it underneath tongue so she can't see. She said, lift up your tongue. And if it's there, she beat me.
Oh God!
I think that was just silly. Why would you beat a child because I can't swallow medicine?
Because you know the medicine good for you, so she wants you to take it.
Yes, I understand. But first of all, they should have tried to find out why is it you're unable to swallow this pill.
You know, my granny used to put my pill, put pills in a condensed milk and give me. Could I crush the pill and drop a little condensed milk in a spoon and put it in there and made her suck it down with the condensed milk? My kids usually can't swallow a pill.
She may get beaten just because I can't swallow it. I think that was ridiculous. And this was an everyday drama and trauma.
They never know better.
They would every day I had to take this pill because they say me mirrors must pick me. Me did Marga, me did this and me did that. Look at me now. So they would be giving me all these vitamins and stuff. And as long as a pill, me have a problem with it.
So Max, you did look dry up.
Dry up. So they always try to give to boost my system. And it was just traumatized for me because I couldn't swallow them.
Lord.
But then I have a big and better and prettier story. And maybe you know the story because she has my CD. I was trying to find the poem, but I couldn't find it. I looked for it, but I couldn't find the physical copy, and I don't know the poem from memory, the entire poem. But the story is called The Basket Bottom. My grandmother did igloring on a large scale. That was how I went to school all of my life, even until I went to college. She did igloring. And one Sunday evening, one Sunday evening, she went to the bush. She never go on the Monday. Go do her little thing. She went to the bush to pick up any little thing, pick 2 bananas or whatever to make up the load. So she left me home and I was supposed to be ironing my uniform and get ready and bathe and get ready to go and climb if I carry load, go out to the main road for her to go do her igler in Monday. So me like the ass someone put on the iron for hot and gone outside, gone bathe and lift the iron for hot up.
Oh dear.
Iron the uniform. So what I mean that the bathroom outside that bathe, Mrs. Smoke a bellow through the door. So I grab my pack and put it on my body because I have soap on my sick kid and I put it on for my soap up body the same way. And run that house, going to the house. The stove was on fire, blaze up, and she had a basket that she used to carry to iglery. Pack up with her bib and her thing thread.
Lord of mercy.
And the basket caught fire, ladies.
Wow.
Basket caught fire. Half of the basket burned up and the stove blaze up and a board house, you know. Me have to run outside. I used to have this big pot outside. We used to wash plates in it with dirty water, with ashes water, and we run inside and show it on the stove. And the fire went down, and the floor was a mess, and everything was just a mess, and the basket burned up.
Oh dear.
So I have to carry the rest of the basket burned up outside, wipe off the stove, clean the floor, the whole 9 yards. So when she got home from the bush, now she come over me inside, she called me and said, "Banson!" And I step outside, step to the door. And she said, "How you look, sir?" Because me sad, because my nose was beaten.
Beaten at home.
Oh my God.
The sun me a shake. I was literally physically shaking. And she said to me, she said, "How you look, sir?" I said, "Mom, the basket burn up here. A party attack."
Oh Lord.
Like that. It's a party attack. And I said, until now, ladies, I cannot believe. I can't believe I still today think about the whole story. That she never beat me.
Oh my gosh.
You know? So I said, maybe she be tired because I'm with because
I've got
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't believe until now how come she never beat me. She said she must be tired that she ever go back to go town and all of that thing. Because my grandmother beat you for every single thing. It didn't matter.
Oh my God.
The poem is on my CD called The Basket Burner. I'm telling you. Until now I can't believe it. Because that's a story. That's one of my biggest stories that I will never forget and will always remember.
So you have the script? You remember it?
It's on my CD.
Okay.
No, I don't have the script here because I was trying to look for the poem and I can't find it. But I have another poem that I want to share, and this is more a modern day poem. If you want to do it now, I'll do it later.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Can do it now? Okay, so this one is not written by me, but it's very fitting and you'll hear it. Somebody sent it to me an email and I printed it. I don't know who the original writer is, but it's very interesting. And it's in English and it's called "Don't Mess with Mom." My son came home from school one day with a smirk upon his face. He decided he was smart enough to put me in my place. Guess what I learned in Civic 2 that's taught by Mr. Wright? It's all about the laws today, the children's bill of rights. It says I need not clean my room, don't have to cut my hair. No one can tell me what to think or speak or what to wear. I have freedom from religion, and regardless what you say, I don't have to bow my head, and I sure don't have to pray. I can wear earrings if I want and pierce my tongue and nose. I can read and watch just what I like and get tattoos from head to toes. And if you ever spank me, I'll charge you with a crime. I'll back up all my charges with the marks on my behind. Don't ever touch me. My body's only for my use, not for your hugs and kisses. That's just more child abuse. Don't don't preach your morals like your mama did to you. That's nothing more than mind control, and it's illegal too. Mom, I have these children rights, so you can't influence me, or I'll call Children's Services Division, better known as CSD. Of course, my first instinct was to toss him out the door, but the chance to teach him a lesson made me think a little more. I mulled it over carefully. I couldn't let this go. A smile crept up on my face. He's messing with a pro. The next day, I took him shopping. at the local Goodwill store. I told him, pick out all you want. Their shirts and pants galore. I've called and checked with CSD, who said they didn't care if I bought your Kmart shoes instead of those Nike ears. I've canceled that appointment to take your driver's test. The CSD is unconcerned, so I'll decide what's best. I said, no time to stop and eat or pick up stuff to munch. And tomorrow you can start to learn to pack your own sack lunch. Just save the raging appetite and wait till dinner time. We're having liver and onions, favorite dish of mine. He asked, can I please rent a movie to watch? And the mother said, to watch on my VCR? Sorry, I've sold your TV to put new tires on my car. I also rented out your room. You'll take the couch instead. All that CSD requires is a roof over your head. Your clothing won't be trendy now, and I'll choose what we eat. That allowance that you've used to get will buy me something neat. I'm selling off your jet ski, dirt bike, and roller blades. Check out the parents' bill of rights. It's in effect today. Hey, hotshot, are you crying? And why are you on your knees? Are you asking God to help you out instead of CSD?
That's a good one.
Good
That's
one.
a good one.
Thank you.
Yes. Nice knockback.
So let us welcome our dearest Jen. Jen, you look so hot there with me.
Our butterfly girl.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Morning.
It's not a butterfly, it's a flowers. It's a flowers. I will be at Monster Jam Stadium, the stadium in Orlando. I'm supposed to do face painting there. It's called the Monster Jam, the big truck event. So I'll be doing a lot of kids' face today.
I wish you could do mine because you always do mine.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
So I'm all for the children, because even in my classroom, you have the children and you can see the discipline what they have now and when it was then. Because yesterday I asked one of the staff, how do you see how the difference when people talk to you, you listen? These children are not listening. They are talking back. They don't even wait to hear what you have to say, but they're talking back. And in those days, children used to get so much whopping for sometimes nothing, just to blink their eyes or to blink. And now, when they do need the whipping, you can't do it as much, because they're going to call ACS, as the poem says. They're going to call this on you, police, 911. Well, they have some parents say, if you call 911, them come, we beat you again when they're gone. But to show you that children have more power than the adults today. It's more power for them. Even in the classroom, teachers don't want to teach anymore because if you say something different, like I went to a school, I was a substitute at a school in Florida. And they usually treat substitutes very bad. And I went into the school and I usually warn them and say, look here, if I can be your worst nightmare, and if you try to disrupt the class, I will be there. I'll be there under your bed. I'll be there in your closet. I'll be there. So I go around the schools and I start doing it. And I got good response because everybody was quiet. Nobody did anything and stuff. So one day I went to a high school and I did it to the high school kids. And the child went to the principal and she called me. She said, Miss Douglas, I know you are the biggest comedian ever, but you can't say those things to those kids because, this one child went to her and told her because, they will take it as another meaning and then you could be in trouble. And I said, okay, no problem. So the day now that I had gym, that time I couldn't move around. So I was doing gym and that child was in gym. And she was looking at me and I was looking back at her and I said, come, you're going to make 5 laps around. And I start, to antagonize her a little bit. And I felt sorry for her. But, that is how they are. They are protected. They are so protected. You can't say not. You have to be careful what you say. You have to be careful how you touch them. You have to be careful everything you do. So they get more power. So you can't do the disciplining like how you used to do before, you know?
Yes. And I think that's the thing. We now have to rethink how we exercise discipline, because a child will stand up and tell you, you know, lick me. Try lick me. Pretty much.
Yes.
You know, if you raise your hand or you raise your voice, don't shout at me, kind of thing. And so some parents have just said, I'm done. If you go to road and you do something and you have to go pay a penalty for it, go and go pay the penalty. And so
I don't know if it's my size.
Fear.
I don't know if it's my size or my voice is very, very strong, because sometimes it's a small school I'm working in, and sometimes the teachers say, my gosh, you're loud. But sometimes I think it's the voice and the the tonation or intonation.
The tone.
It's like it sounds so authoritative. So it's like all the school. It's like when I'm walking, I walk with a cane. So when I'm walking, and it's like the high school kids see me, the middle school kids see me, they always like buckle up and shuffle up. And I don't say anything I never said anything to them, but they know I never touched them or anything, but it's that voice.
You have a presence.
Yeah. I don't know. I would be in the bathroom and you see them running out. They'll be idling in the bathroom, and as I enter, you see everybody running out. Stop. You know? So I don't have, when
that's good. That is
run in the hallway. They will run in the hallway, and as soon as they reach a door, you see them walking in like little angels.
And
they're the first and second grade.
When we were small, we had people like that who they're very present, whether they had big voices, whether they were tall or short, but their whole demeanor, it would cause you to buckle up and straighten up if you see them coming.
Indeed.
So it's just your very presence and how you carry yourself. But the thing about it, that what I realize is, as parents, we have to nip it in the bud from early, because all the kids who are sassing and talking back and telling parents they will do what and what, that has come about because they weren't nipped in the bud in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? You have people, I mean, kids grow very fast, and you have people who would say, well, then grow up so fast and stuff. But you do have some parents who, for want of a better expression, they live some careless life. They pity them, hear them conversation. They up in them face. Daughter and you are get mani-pedi at 5 and 6 years old. You and them are get matching outfits, and you're doing stuff. And then when you come out to discipline, it doesn't stick, because they think you are a joke. Because they hear you bad-mouthing people who they should respect. They probably hear you bad-mouthing them, or you're talking about them with other people, or you're on the phone acting certain way. So when you come down and your daughter in a belly skin at 10 years old and passing you, and you want to say something, they already know the 411, and that's when they start giving you attitude. And then when that happens now is when they start telling you, well, I'll call the cops because I know this and I know that. And practically you are on the verge of not being able to make any corrections. You have, just like Jackie said with Christoph, you have to start them early. Age 2, age 3, you are supposed to can pull out your eye upon them and them know what you mean. You clear your throat and cut your head a certain way, they know what you mean. Don't try me. You have to instill that. If that's how you were raised, I mean, yes, some of us got some unnecessary beatings. And you probably are beg and say, I never me, mommy, I never me, mama, papa, granny, whatever. And maybe they didn't believe you, and you still get licked. Or them tell you, say you're guilty by association. Because a lot of us get beaten being guilty by association. Yeah, because you did there and whatever. You know, but at the same time, a lot of parents just let the kids them slide through And because them cute and you did try and you never have them in the beginning, and then this one come and are your pet and are your king and are this and are your prince and princess. No wrong with that for call them king, prince and princess. But you have to make you know that they're an open book. And you
Yes.
have to write on those pages, because if you don't do it, later on when you decide you're going to close the gate, the horse gone through long time.
Absolutely.
Yes, too
And
late.
that's
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah,
That
and
is
it's
That's
true.
what
all
I
structuring.
knew somebody who actually took the child. The child and he was a boy, get so bad and I fell a bad company, because part of that is when parents wanting to give kids so much stuff, they work 2 jobs, and when they would have came home to do dinner and have some kind of family time, they're not there. So the TV raised the kids, the video games and other people probably who were so vigilant raise the kids. And when you come now and you want to instill something, them tell you where to get off.
That's
And
true.
Yes.
that's when you look and say, I'm buying you this, I'm paying for that. I put you here, I put you there, and look how you treated me. Somebody actually took their son, get on a flight, go Jamaica, beat him proper down there, make him wounds heal, and bring him back up here.
Thank you. We know somebody who did
And
that.
every time you try that again, I'm going to take you down there, because nobody down there now lock me up. I'm going to take you down there and beat you and bring you back up here. Me can't beat you up here. I will beat you down there.
Yes. Because
Yeah.
in Jamaican
Right, right. And you know, boy, I tell you, and so we wonder, where do we go from here? Because that's the question, you know. It's
Yes.
just this past last week, when was it? Last week, I got a letter. I have a segment called Mail Zone, MAIL. And so in that letter, here is a couple, right? The woman had twins, a boy and a girl, before she met her husband, and you know, they got married and stuff. All right, so he has raised these children from she had the twins. The father left for England when they were 2, and that was it. To this day, she don't know if he's alive or dead. So here is this man who has now stepped in the role and thing. But the problem is they live in the Bronx, and the girl tend to knock heads, you know, with children that the father is so concerned about. So is the mother, but she is not a strict parent. The father is. And she lick heads with a girl whose mother had drug issues and all that. So now she come home one day with piercings in, I think, on the tongue and in ears or nostrils somewhere. So they're like, where this come from? So the father, you know, started to reprimand and say, where you get this from? Why you went to go get body piercings? And the mother is there saying, he's not to say nothing, is her child.
Well, there you go.
That's
So
all they
when
want here.
right, is my daughter. So he's like,
So she and
what?
her daughter need to take up them bag and come out.
So she's like, what? You know, he's saying, in other words, we are not working together here.
Yeah, you have to be on the same page when it
You
comes to
have to be
discipline.
on the
Exactly.
same page.
You need to be on
Yeah.
the same page.
To the
One
point
can't be
where,
saying
you
do
know,
one the other say no.
right. So to the point where it turned out to be one big thing. And
Yeah.
she's telling him, don't talk to my daughter, I will deal with it. And so he's like,
No good.
so
No
right
good.
now there's a breakdown in their
exactly.
relationship.
That's a total
There's a
breakdown.
breakdown in their relationship. And he's like, you know what, I'm hands off. So she don't want
He
him
must-
to have no
He must
input.
have been a good man to assume the role of a father for these 2 children.
So there you go.
Obviously, he's not an abuser to them,
Right.
but they have to be on the same
Hey, when it
page.
comes to discipline.
When it comes to discipline, they have to be on the same page.
And they're 15-year-old twins.
You know what,
So, you
lady?
know,
Another reason why we have this breakdown in terms of discipline with kids, whether it's be here or back home, but mostly back home, I can recall, because women are young girls have babies early. Their body wasn't mature. The brain is not mature. They're not mature. They're not ready for motherhood. But there they end up with a child, and they know they don't have a clue how to mother and how to discipline this child. So that's one of the issues I know back in Jamaica. Another thing I've observed too, in Jamaica, I don't know if you guys have seen this video where a student and a teacher was fighting.
Yes.
I saw it.
Cheer to throw at the student. When we were growing up in school, there was no such thing in our age. There was no such thing. We couldn't dare think of arguing or back chatting a teacher. It couldn't happen. Because if you did something wrong in school and teacher beat you, when you go home, you get another beating. You know that.
Thank
I don't know if you guys can recall that.
Yes.
So it was just a different time. And here in America, forget it about the beating. That don't exist. That doesn't happen. When a child is misbehaving or being rude or disruptful, the mother will say, "Oh, she's tired." Have you ever heard that? Yes, I've worked with kids and the mother say, "Oh, when they pick them face, they and carry on." Kid took up diaper chewing my face. I'm talking about something I experienced. A kid that I was taking care of took up a diaper and chew it in my face.
One spit on me, one spit in my face.
And when I complained, the mother said, "Oh, maybe he's just a little tired." That's all. And their only form of discipline is to take away the toy. So if the kid does something wrong, they take away a toy or something. But then I pinch them and ring their ears and draw their ears like what up here. What I'm saying?
Them want get the knuckle on the forehead. The knuckles on the forehead.
And the parents are aware of that. Kids are aware that the parents are not gonna kick them out or anything, so they can't.
Well, this week, one of my parents, an American, I said, "You have West Indian in you." She said the child's father is a West Indian, but I don't know who. I didn't even call her to tell her that her child was giving trouble. All I see, she bust open the classroom door and drag the child and start bam, bam, bam. You ever say, behave yourself in the class. Listen to talk, you know. And she was at the child again, bash, bash. You understand me? But in Florida, it's like if you're down in the South, they still do a little bit of the corporal punishment. They do a little bit of it. You understand me? In New York and so it's like a no. But in Florida, we consider down south, they still do the little and the Bible said, train up a child, you know, you're not to spare the what? Don't spare the rod. But we didn't.
That doesn't mean you're gonna abuse.
You don't want to abuse a child, and if you know you're an angry person, don't discipline. Talk to them right away, but don't use the punishment on them like the belt, because sometimes you're so angry at what they do, it will end up that you go to prison. Yeah. So it's best for you to calm down, talk to them first, and say what you did is not right. What I do, sometimes I said there's a time I'm going to go and take a breather or take some breath or whatever. But you have to calm them down and you have to calm yourself down. You know, and what our forefather did, it was, to me, now they would call it child abuse. Yeah. Because some beating that was done to kids. In Africa, they burn the kids' finger if they thief. They do, you know, it was too much. It was too much. And that's why the system calm it down a little bit. And I learned one thing. I don't have to use corporal punishment to discipline a child. There's so many means. I do a line system. Everybody sit. Then you go and you only go to the front of the line if you are good. And nobody wants to go to the back of the line.
Of course.
So everybody keeps quiet. And then I said, okay, you can go to the front. And when they reach up to the end, now with one of them who is giving, you hear the crying, oh, I don't want to go to the back. So they learn to, so there's other means of discipline. It's not for us to talk about the different, the corporal punishment, but ways and means we can discipline our children.
But then, so there is consistency, right?
Yes,
right. Continuity, because if you're doing that in the classroom and it's not maintained at home, there's no follow through.
Right.
Yeah.
what happens is the child conforms. When they're
Mm-hmm.
at school, they listen to
Yes.
Miss Douglas,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
When they're out with their peers and out of sight
A different
of
thing.
is a different thing.
It's a
So
different thing.
their parents will observe, but look at little Johnny when he's at school with Miss Douglas. But he won't do that when he's home because you're not doing it.
Exactly.
When
Exactly.
I talk
It
to
is
my
not
parents
being
and
done.
let them know that whatever is happening and what they can do, and most of them have seen improvement because they were worse. So some of them have seen, not academically, but I mean like behavioral wise, they have
Mm-hmm.
seen, because some children, when they
Behavior.
behave in disciplined ways, because they're not mature enough. So I teach them responsibilities that give them some responsible. You're in charge of the line duty. You're in charge of whatever.
Right.
And you tell the parents, give them little duties at home. Let them
Yeah.
feel
Right.
responsible, because that will mature. Let them be more mature.
Right.
You
And
understand me?
another
Because some of
thing,
them behave like baby. I used to have two of them crying. First and second grade, and they cry nonstop. Now they don't cry anymore because they have responsibility. The parents say they see the improvement because they don't behave that way either at home like how they used to. So if you're doing something which is right, Lady D, you have to keep it, let the parent know what you do and what they can do, because we have to be advocates for the parents, the kids too. So
yeah,
we have to
and
let the
and
parents
and
know.
may I say too, another thing too, if you have like two households that the child is traveling between two households, say the parents are separated and the child goes to the mother or the father this week and goes to the parents, as you know, they have to be cordial just for the child's sake.
Yes.
Even if they don't get along, they have to be cordial. Try to be cordial for the child's sake, because that double household affects the child
Yes.
in the sense where you discipline one way and the other household disciplines another way, or is free-handed with certain things. So the child
Right.
will come back or go back with different behaviors each time, and it's
Right.
like it develops confusion in the child,
Yeah.
and then there are two different types of discipline. So the parents have to come together
Great point,
That's
to,
why
Jackie.
you
Great
call
point.
create that.
co-parenting.
Great
Right,
Co-parenting
point.
to
is not
create
like
that
money.
foundation for the child. I see that, experience that with my niece. She goes back between my brother and her mother. And I stopped the mother one day and I spoke to her and I explained to her that we need to be on the same page with discipline, because now that she's out of pre-K and is into the regular school, now you're seeing different things coming home. And I asked her, do you see such and such a behavior? Have you seen that? Or so on. I said, well, we have to be on the same page when it comes on to discipline, because it's for the child's interest.
That's true.
Yeah, that is the same
Yeah.
thing in the classroom with the teacher and the parent. That's why we have parent teacher
Right.
conference. There a lot of people don't understand what is co-parenting. Co-parenting is being on the same page. You understand me?
Yeah.
It's not about you paying your child support, you're paying your child support and all of that. It's about raising the child, bringing up the child in the way he or she should grow. So
And
it's co-parenting,
yes, and another thing that we realize too is I might identify something in a child and I may take the position without consulting with a parent to have a conversation with the child. But there are times when a parent really is offended the fact that you want to scold my picnic.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what,
even if it
lady,
was done,
along the
even if
same
it was
line.
one second,
Yeah.
Sharon's, even if it
Yeah.
was done in a very respectful manner, it wasn't crass, you didn't haul up the people then picnic, but you simply, I know haul up,
Yeah.
right?
You
That's
can
right.
haul him up, master.
Right.
And now we're looking at the more emotional, the psychological. Kids are stressed. Some kids are very stressed, especially when they get a mountainous amount of work at school. They come home and they have to do work at home, and so they get stressed. They are human
Yes.
beings.
Yeah.
So sometimes when they do come, you as teachers have to ask them, like if they're doing something unusual, you have to find out what is going on and say, Johnny, are you having a good day today? What is happening? And maybe Johnny will pull you aside and tell you that such and such and such. Some kids are going through sexual abuse. Some are going through mental abuse from their parents. You understand me? So there's so much things that the modernized world is going through right now. For a child to take up a gun and bring it into school and kill innocent children, something was going on in the home, stressing him. So it's a lot of stress that these kids are going through too. So that's why the psychologist, the social worker have to deal with these, find out. Don't just assume that the child is bad. I tell a child, you're not bad. Fruits and vegetables go bad, and fish. You are just making inappropriate choices. You're not making the right choice. That's what I tell them. Today, you're not making the right choice. Make the right choice.
So it goes back to what I was saying then, that here it is, you have a village, right? And when we were growing up, people in our community had all access to scold you. And even if you went home, me too. Even if you went home and say, "Oh, Miss Harvey call out to me," and Mama start figure out, so why Miss Harvey did call out to you, and you go around the bush. She knew it's because of something where Miss Harvey had to call out to you. But if you find that parents are offended because you had to say something to their children, then if their child he sees that kind of a verbal combat thing going on, and say, but so that means she not have to talk to me because your mama just say a while ago. That goes through the door. And I also understand what Jenny's saying, that yes, there are children who are going through difficult situations in their home. We get that. But until that blows up, you really don't know, because if a child doesn't say, if you have a child in your class who is constantly quiet while everybody else is saying something, reserved, all of that, and you may have that one-on-one conversation with a parent to say, well, I observed that Johnny is not participating like other children do. Is he having any challenges at home? What the answer is going to be, oh, Johnny is fine. He's not. And they're non-disclosure.
Right.
You don't know.
They always say,
so
we're
the
not to
situation,
judge.
No, not judging.
No, what I'm saying, they're always saying we're not to judge by appearance. But when my students come, I look at how they're dressed. Number one, I look on their body to see if there are any physical views, and then I look at how they're dressed. And I have sometimes students come in with dirt. The clothes are so filthy. The shoes are all begging bread. They're not that they can't be poor, but you can know that the parents are going through some stressful time. So the child automatically going to go through some stressful. That's when the investigation starts to happen. You understand? Because we start to look at the physical first. We don't know what is going on inside, but we look at the physical first. He comes with clothes every day, dirty clothes, dirty pants, dirty shoes, and then he has scratches all over his body. Those are the things we look for first. And then we can find out what is happening. You understand?
Afterwards.
So there are so many variables to consider, right?
Yes.
But when that is addressed, then it is addressed. But there are those who there are some parents who are not paying attention. Once their child comes into their house and they go into their room and the door is locked, they have no clue what is going on inside.
Exactly.
They don't know. They don't knock. They don't go. And if they knock, because the discipline had broken down, even if they knock the door, the child will say, I'm on my phone or something, and you have
what do you want, Mom?
You know what? I saw this man adopted children from China.
So
you know what he did? He took off the door.
I saw that video.
For the whole of their life, they had no room door, and they're in college now studying to be doctors.
Well,
He never let them have doors on.
Right.
Same door. He might pay the bills.
Here we are talking about discipline. It varies from household to household, from parent to parent, and until a parent sees something staring them in the face and it's about to bring them down. Invariably do they act. They don't do anything. They tell you that they're going through phases and so on. And we do go through phases.
Yeah, they make too many excuses for them. And the thing is that with the this whole cell phone having thing, yes, you give your child a cell phone.
That was the start of it.
Yeah, these kids will. I mean, it depends. It can be good or bad, because some of the kids, like my daughter is a teacher, and they recently had, this week they had Spirit Week, and one kid had they're supposed to leave their phones in a specific locker, but somehow this kid, and she has 12 and 13-year-olds that she teaches, and this kid had his phone, and he was supposed to be dressed as whatever heritage. They had a heritage day, so whatever your heritage is, you come in there, in the, if they have a costume or the native dress or something. And she said and they said, if you're not gonna be participating, then what you do is you wear your uniform. You have to wear your uniform. And she said he didn't wear uniform. He came in like sweats or whatever. And because she said to him, all right, you're not wearing anything to show heritage, what I'm going to do, I have a couple of flags. I'm going to give you a flag that you can use to represent. So if one of your parents is from a different place, or you want a US flag or any other flag, I'll give you the flag. That way you can say, well, this is my flag, and you're part of it. You're going to have your parade. You're going to have your exercises, you can say. And he thought better of it, and he didn't want it. And she didn't even know he had his phone, and he went into the bathroom, called his mother, and only when his mother called to dress her down verbally was when she realized that he had called his mother to complain on her, that she was telling him that he didn't have his native thing, and how he was embarrassed in front of the class, and all of that. The mom didn't try to get to the bottom of it. She just called berating and cursing out. So that's the other thing. When the kids know that they're armed like that, they will test the boundaries, and then you can't do anything.
Push the envelope. So let's acknowledge our audience and their comments. So Neville says, Maureen and I were talking this morning. Our enlightenment was that the whooping, beating, spanking, lashing was handed down from our masters. They train and discipline their children by communicating. Okay. Now, Andrea says, enough people send back the child to Caribbean for a short period when the child is behaving.
Yes, even a weekend.
I've seen that. Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw. There was a
1 second, Max. Let me just run through these quickly. Who is this now? Morning, Celeste. Patrick says, morning. Blessings, Patrick.
Morning.
Neville says, my wife says no to Ashley. Then she ran to me because she is daddy's girl. She ran to me for me to overturn Marcia's verdict. Guess what I did? I agreed with Marcia's verdict. No.
Exactly.
On the same page. Then here he says the rod is effective communication starting from the womb.
Very much.
It was child abuse, a system that needed to be changed. Thank you, Maureen. And Celeste says, that is so true. We could not pass people on the road and don't say good morning or good evening.
That's a get beaten. Shoes making bread.
Oh, shoes making bread.
Shoes making bread.
Right. So you were about to say, Max, because we're going to wrap up in a few.
I was about to say that there was a video. I don't know if you guys saw it on social media. I saw it on Instagram, and somebody sent it to me directly, where a 12-year-old boy, mother took his phone away. It's right there in New York. It happened, I think maybe in Queens. I'm not sure.
Oh yes, I saw
mother took his phone away from him, and he
trashed the place.
You saw it, guys?
They said it's not a phone. The whole story she came on and said it was not a phone. So I don't know the whole true story of anything of that.
But
whatever it
the
was,
entire house. No,
whatever it was,
Place.
a phone or not.
He has a lot of kids have mental issues. Do you know that autism is mental issue? Autism
Listen to me, Jennifer.
is
If that little boy need a beating, he need a beating. If you have a device and your parent take it away from you because you're abusing it, or it's a consequence of some behavior you portray that was less than desirable, and they say, okay, I'm taking the phone away. You mash up the house, I peer beat the again. Call the police.
Every TV, the counter top, it was broken.
He knows what he's doing.
You see, a lot of time you don't understand these kids with autism or mental issues are very strong.
Autism. Maxine, give me the rest.
Very
give me the
strong
Max, because this boy don't have no autism.
I used to have one in Manhattan, and I'm telling you, I am, look at my size, and that boy hit me down till I was unconscious. Because they are very strong. Maybe his mother is small bodied. He can't manage him.
But you should have told him. Based on what I watched the video and I observed a lot of stuff. And based on what I saw, I don't think the mother was home when they did it. No, it's like whoever was, it's like they came to the house and that's what treated them. The countertop, woman countertop, break the TV, or work
the toilet.
Yes. Everything was totally destroyed.
The toilet, everything.
Because if somebody was at home, the police would have been called instantly. You understand me? So I don't think, as you said, nobody was at home at that time. Because he would have even hurt the mother or hurt somebody in the presence.
Yeah. Listen, I took away my son's video game from him. He was paying more attention to the video game and less attention to his homework. And so me take with that video game was underneath my desk at work for 1 year. Broke up the house now.
Yeah.
Break it up.
You have to understand. Maybe that's why I work with children with special needs, because I'm with regular
I understand
kids,
them,
but children with a lot of people don't know the whole autism, what caused it, whatever. We're still researching.
So there are exceptions here.
But
there are exceptions.
Yes. So when we're talking about kids, we have to we can't just generalize the normal kids. We have to also talk about the children with mental issues.
That's right. We agree. Absolutely. But we do know that there are children who are very strong-willed.
Yes.
And it's caused by their parents, because if you train up the child, as you all say, that child, and keep them structured, it's a thing called structured. In the classroom, if you're not structured, once you come in and you set a rule, you maintain that rule. They will test you. They will do kids love to test. And they will test you to and they will even come and do the same thing that they did on the first day to see if you will recant. But you just have to keep that structure, keep that rule. You don't go outside until such and such. You don't. And if they go outside, you beat them on their foot bottom as parents. You understand me? So they can walk for a couple of days. But I mean, that's parents, not teachers. But I'm just saying that as teachers, you have to keep the structure and maintain it.
Yeah. And so the same principle applies in our home, raising our children. We have to ensure that our children adhere to our rules and be respectful, because that's what happens if you are raising children that are not respectful. They have no boundaries. Then what happens when they go out into the world is the same behavior they're going to carry. And then some girl pickney who is raised well by her parents is going to end up with some boy pickney that don't listen.
And vice versa.
It becomes a thorn to her, and vice versa. So that's what the whole composite of everything. We are dealing with people who have literally dropped the ball.
Yes, and another thing we have to be careful.
Wrap up in 2 minutes.
Okay.
You're gonna have to go. Go ahead.
But another thing we have to be careful of too is what they are watching, especially at a young age. My nieces are 5 years old, and they watch some of these reality shows on their tablets, where they watch other families who have a platform, and their mode of discipline is not necessarily in keeping with ours. And they taught the children them talk freely any kind of way to the parents, and
I like Meet the Mitchells because they're trying
to emulate those.
That makes sense. We are talking about up here.
Yeah. So what I've been doing, and when I realize or see certain things, me take the phone and look at it and see what you're watching and cut it off or block it.
Same so.
Yeah, that's a big thing, Jackie, because they see these things and to them it's glamorous. And sometimes, you have kids even on these things. I hate you, mom. I hate you, mom.
Yes.
And they just brush it off like, oh, she's just not getting enough sleep, and it's this and that. There is nothing cute about that. You're in the store, them yelling at you, and you have lost. You look here, man. Learn to dance the yard before you dance abroad.
Yes, dance abroad.
You cannot bend the tree. I go back to the original. Some of these parents, because the kid is cute, the kid at them last chance, at them 1 year ball, etc. They give them a mile. They give them an inch, them take a yard, them give them a yard, and it just goes. And before you know it, you cannot talk to them, and then you're going to cry, and you're going to unleash them on society and all of that stuff. And you're the one who dropped the ball from the first. Your parents have to realize that when you raise kids, there is no what you call it now. You don't have no recess. You can't cry free. You have to be in it. Because when they come out of your come from under your roof and come out of your hand or out of your sphere of influence, you want them to be rounded individuals who are going to be positive role models and contributors to society. You don't want them to go out, they go unleash upon people, because when you have trained your child and now they're in a setting together and there's peer pressure and all them other things, these kids, the ones that weren't properly grounded and all of that stuff. What's that, man?
We need a part two.
I just want to say that I just want to say a last word before I go, but I raised my son almost by myself, and I wish I had a father figure for him during his raising, but so far he has been doing a good job with his children in the fact that he stand up for his family and he's raising them the best way how I taught him. So if parents, I was 22 when I had him. I would consider that young, but I remember we learned from our mother, and grandmother, and we learned things. These children are not trying to learn anything from anybody, but they're just following the secular world. That's it. To raise their kids.
It's the foundation. It's the foundation. The kid never born with the full faculties and being able to talk to you and talk back to you. It's what you have poured into the child, or you have failed to pour into the child.
Maxine was saying, the younger people.
What's that?
The younger people having kids now, and they're raising kids when they're not even finished raising themselves.
That happens. I mean, that happens. You do have people, younger women like yourself.
But as I said, just keep the environment structured. At home, keep it structured. Kids to go to bed at 7:30, maintain the 7:30. Don't give them any lineage way until, if you see if they reach a certain age and you want to increase it, then it's fine. But you have to keep your home structured, your classroom structured for a better environment or a better situation for your kids.
All right, thanks, Jen. We're gonna have to wrap. Sharns, you want to finish your thought?
I understand that sometimes some kids may have issues and all of that stuff, but parents, as my pastor used to say, you have to give kids things to live for and not just to live with. And when you give them all these devices and you don't monitor them, if you know you don't have time to put a block or censor what they're watching, then don't give them the tablet. Don't give them the phone. Don't give them all that stuff. Because if you say, well, I don't have time to keep up with it, then don't give it to them. Because they might start watching one video innocently and it roll over into another one, and it roll into another one until the next thing you know,
Okay,
them gone
bye
into a whole
everyone.
different thing.
Bye-bye.
All right, take it easy, Jen.
Them gone into a whole different thing. Like Jackie said, no, they're watching we call them show the reality shows. And because these people are getting how many views, and now they're getting paid for stuff, and the kids are now little money makers, they will overlook certain things. And then the behavior now is being looked upon by your children as if it's the norm. And it's far from the norm.
Yeah.
It's far from the look here. As I said before, a lot of us got beaten unnecessarily. But here we are. And I'm not championing
and we're not dead.
But you have to have a system in place where adults are on the same page. We have agreed whether you are together as a couple or not. We have to agree to certain things. Certain things are appropriate at certain ages, and we have to implement some kind of structure in their life. Not that you're going to pick up a belt at every turn, but you have to let them know the consequences for their action. As small as my little grandson is 5. And one thing my daughter always drilling them, there are consequences for your actions. And sometimes the two bigger ones might take something from him and it might drop him and say, oh, there's a consequence. Him just know if you use the word. So you have to build a consequence in when, you by all means, if they're good and they're behaving and you want to reward them and you let it be known, that's fine. It goes hand in hand. You have an equal balance. But all this cutesy up with Pitney who rude and undisciplined and all of that stuff, that's got to go. You got to cut that out. Nothing cute about that when them embarrass you at the wrong place.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Back in a mother face and thump down mother and spit on them something. You couldn't do that. You would have dead. You would know.
We will definitely do a part 2 for this. But thanks to everyone who tuned in. It's a busy morning, so we're gonna wrap up the show. But thank you, and I'm sure we hit quite a few relative points.
Yeah, a few.
A few.
Yeah,
a few pointers, and we'll definitely revisit this topic. Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the word subscribe. There is no cost to subscribing. I just need to build the numbers. I need to get to 1,000 subscribers, and my aim is by end of November. Let's do this. So come December, I can do so much more with the platform. Thank you, ladies. Blessings to you as always. And blessings. Bye to everyone, and thanks for being here with us today.
Yes.
Take it easy.
Yes.
Take care.
Have a